Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Friday, February the 7th. Also, tomorrow's games. I'm going to have to do the preview today since tomorrow morning those games get started. And there are 4 matinee games, so I'll do a matinee review of those 4 and then the other 11 before we get the power rankings and, yeah, all that fun stuff. So that being said, let's jump in with the news of the day. The waiver wire's busy. Colin White's been waived by San Jose. Maybe clears, probably, right? Hataka has been waived by the New Jersey Devils. I would think very likely clears as well. He, of course, was formerly a defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. And then Anthony Richard waived by the Philadelphia Flyers. We'll see if he gets picked up. I'm thinking probably not. Michkov was also seen practicing the Michigan this morning in that he did not score on the Michigan last night because the goalie saved it, and that is definitely an option. I was actually, the funny thing is I like the Michigan as a goal, but I was glad to see a goaltender get in the way of it and save it so that, this idea that it's a cheat code that a goalie can't save is absolutely incorrect. Once goalies know that a player's going to try that, it's actually relatively easy to save that because they got to pick it up on their stick and around the front. And if you know that's coming, then you just have to make sure you're covering that side of the net. Also, for the Flyers, it looks like Pelche and Kuzmenko are going to debut tomorrow. Their journey to Philadelphia slow indeed, but they could be playing tomorrow in that game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So all the best to Pelche and Kuzmenko. It's interesting to see how quickly things have changed around the Rantanen Necas deal, isn't it? Necas looks fantastic in Colorado. It's almost as if Nathan MacKinnon makes other players better. But Rantanen, his play in Carolina hasn't been to that same standard, and now word is out there that the Canes haven't been able to get any further with an extension on a Rantanen contract than Colorado did. So now all of a sudden he's on all these trade boards that I'm seeing online. So could the Canes flip him again? And there's something to that, because with what they gave up to get Mikko Rantanen, in the event that they're not able to talk Rantanen into signing for the amount they want to give him, what do? You can't risk that package that you gave up for Rantanen being for a player who leaves in July. So they'd kind of have to trade him again, wouldn't they? And then they might get less of a return than what Colorado got for him initially. It's not a great scenario for the Carolina Hurricanes. The best scenario would be to sign Rantanen, but he hasn't really got himself, sorted with Carolina yet, which is fine. Players do not always adjust immediately to a new environment. Stamkos is one that I think of right away where he's played pretty well, but he had a really rough first, I'd say 20 games before his play started picking up with Nashville. Not every player just right away. Maybe when you're playing with Nathan MacKinnon, it's just a little bit easier because a very smart player and very, very good at every area of the game, it would seem. So I thought this was interesting. The NHL PR tweeting out that the video rulebook examples outlining penalties, video review, game flow situations are now on the video rulebook. They've been adding to it, and that's a great idea. Basically, it gives you that visual of this is what this penalty looks like, and it gives you ammunition when you see it during a game and it's not called. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, doesn't it? So the NHL, I think that's a great idea to have a video rulebook. The rulebook is not as easy to obtain as it used to be. It used to be once a year you'd be able to. Of course, yearbooks aren't as easy to obtain either. Physical media has just kind of gone the way of the dodo at this point in time. And so, yeah, video rulebooks make a lot of sense. And for the players who get used as this is the example, your penalty is being immortalized by the NHL. Immortalized at least until they change which video they use for which penalty. But let me know your thoughts. Do you like the idea of a video rulebook? I think it's great for people learning the game. Got to be honest. I think it's great for them. But I know there'll be a lot of comments of, do they show goalie interference? I think with the goalie interference, there's just been a lot of gray area. And I agree that it needs to be clarified. But when I talk about how they could clarify it, people tend to not necessarily. I think it should just be black and white. There shouldn't be any debate. It's just you bump the goaltender, it's no goal. Done. If it's in the crease, it's no goal. If it's outside the crease, probably a goal, but that's a whole other debate for a whole other time. There's a minor deal that's been made today. My wife's not happy about this one. Mark Friedman traded to Nashville by Vancouver for future considerations, and she's not happy about it because she really liked Friedman down in Abbotsford. My guess is that the Vancouver Canucks felt that Friedman was too good for the AHL, not quite up to the standard that they want for their defensemen at the NHL level. And Nashville looking to get a defenseman. I believe didn't Friedman play for them before? At any rate, all the best to Friedman. He's a good defenseman. Just hasn't quite found that right place to play yet at the National Hockey League level. Maybe that'll be the case with Nashville. Good news for Buffalo. Thompson, Cousins, and Luukkonen could all play tomorrow against Nashville. The Buffalo Sabres yesterday tweeting out hilariously that so many players were not at practice due to injury. And I say hilariously because I hadn't heard anything about Luukkonen, and it's just, okay, so all these players are out with injury. Cool. And no further whether or not they'd miss the next game. So if you get Thompson, Cousins, and Luukkonen back, that's great. Especially Tage Thompson, right? He is the straw that stirs the drink in Buffalo. All right, moving on to the preview portion of the video, which is probably going to take a little bit of time because it's 14 games. I'll try to get through it. So 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We have 3 games starting then, beginning with New Jersey and Montreal. The Devils 30-20-6 overall this season, 4-5-1 in their last 10. Montreal 25-24-5 overall. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10. So Montreal had a really good run going there, and now it's kind of gone the other way. Also at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the Tampa Bay Lightning in Detroit against the Wings. Tampa Bay 29-20-4 on the season, 5-4-1 in their last 10. Detroit 28-21-5 overall, 7-2-1 in their last 10. And I'm sure Detroit's thinking, hey, if we win this in regulation, we could be third in the division. All right. I think it'd be great if we had a first round of Detroit against pretty much anybody. Detroit in the playoffs sounds like a good idea, just because it's been so long since they were there. 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific start between Utah and Carolina. Utah 23-22-9 overall. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. They've been getting some last-second heroics from Dylan Guenther. Carolina 32-19-4 overall. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. But the three losses are their 3 most recent games. So Carolina looking to turn things around. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific start between the Vegas Golden Knights, who are 32-17-6, and the Boston Bruins, who are 27-23-6. Vegas 3-4-3 in their last 10, but it felt like that was a bit of a turnaround game yesterday against New Jersey. Boston 5-4-1 in their last 10. They're going to need to go on a bit of a streak here if they're going to want to stay in the playoffs. They're below the playoff line right now, but what I mean is that they've been a playoff team for a while. They're threatening to miss the playoffs this year for the first time in a while. So those are the 4 early games that we got. We got 5 games starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 2 an hour after that, and then we have 3 late games. So it's kind of spread out. It's not that bad. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Ottawa and Florida. The Ottawa Senators 29-22-4, 6-4 in their last 10, coming off back-to-back regulation losses against Tampa. Florida 33-20-3 overall. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Florida starting to figure things out again. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. If a team has an asterisk next to their name, or next to their logo, I should say, it's because they play tonight as well. So Pittsburgh plays tonight, then they play tomorrow in Philly. 22-24-9 record for Pittsburgh currently. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. Philadelphia 23-26-7 overall. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10. And they're definitely rebuilding. I'll be curious to see how this Battle of Pennsylvania goes. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the New York Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Rangers 26-23-4. They do play tonight. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Columbus 26-21-8 overall. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. Things have not been going in the right direction for Columbus this week. They need to get this back because otherwise they threaten to fall out of the race for that final playoff spot in the East. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Blues. Chicago 16-31-6 overall. 2-4-4 in their last 10 games. St. Louis 24-26-5 and 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. So both of these teams having their struggles. That should be a win for St. Louis at home against Chicago, but you just never know. One thing though is too, it's Blackhawks and the Blues. There'll probably be a fight or two in this one. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Toronto and Vancouver. So the Canucks host Toronto, and they got to start early. Toronto 33-19-2 on the season, 6-4 in their last 10. Vancouver 25-18-11 overall. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. For the Vancouver Canucks, they definitely seem to be heading in the right direction. I'm still seeing criticism of certain players on the team, of course, but the team itself definitely seems to be trending upwards rather than downwards, which is a change, and a change is good in this case. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between Buffalo and Nashville. Buffalo 22-26-5. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Nashville 18-27-7 overall. They're 5-5 in their last 10. and Nashville plays tonight. So Buffalo could jump on them, considering Buffalo could have 3 pretty big names back in the lineup for that game. Maybe they win one on the road. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start as well between the New York Islanders, who play tonight, against the Minnesota Wild. It's because I've been doing so many videos. Anyway, Minnesota Wild. The Islanders 25-21-7, 8-2 in their last 10 games. Minnesota 32-19-4 overall, 5-5 in their last 10 for the Wild. The Wild. I like the North Stars, but yeah, it's the Wild. Anyways, Minnesota, we know all the injury issues. The Islanders, we know, need to keep winning at this rate for at least a little while longer if they're going to get above the playoff line. Should make for an entertaining game. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between the Seattle Kraken and the Calgary Flames. Seattle, 23-29-4 overall, 4-5-1 in their last 10. The Flames, 26-21-7 overall. They're 5-5 in their last 10. And so the Flames at home against Seattle, I like the Flames' chances of winning there. Keeping in mind that now that they're below the playoff line, it might get a little more fight in their game and help them maybe win a couple of games. Frost and Farabee, I think, are going to be quite good for them once they get completely settled. And it's a matter of when that happens. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Dallas and San Jose. Dallas plays tonight, so tomorrow they're in San Jose. Dallas 34-18-1 overall, 6-4 in their last 10. San Jose 15-34-7 overall, 1-8-1 in their last 10. San Jose really and truly at this point just right off the cliff in terms of their record. And then 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, because the NHL wants to make sure as many 7:30 starts take place as possible between now and the break. 23-24-6 record for Anaheim, who are in LA tomorrow night. Anaheim's 5-4-1 in their last 10. For LA, this is the second half of a back-to-back. So Anaheim will be looking to jump on that fact that they could be tired. LA 28-17-6 overall. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. So there you go. 14 games tomorrow in the NHL. Let me know your thoughts and your picks and all that fun stuff in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.